you made it, and you got AIR1 without any coaching. Students are spending like thousands of rupees these days into random courses. So what they
Yeah.
need to understand is basically you are trying to tell them to firstly clear all the concepts and practice as much as they can.
I mean, everybody needs to know some basic quantitative abilities, right? It does not have to be that that person has to be a star and needs to know the most complicated number theory, to speak in pure English, and to speak with fluency, to speak with accuracy, to be succinct when you are speaking. I think that was really encouraged.
And again, another stupid question. Did you have any girlfriend or something like that? Some partner? Someone
Uh,
asking you, Babu Thana Thaya, or something like
no,
that?
no, no, not really.
ओए एक मिनट ये चैनल अभी तक सब
whatever.
क्यों नहीं हुआ है ये देख रहे हो ये पाकिस्तान से इंपोर्ट कराई है समझे अभी सब्सक्राइब करो अभी
Okay, so today we have All India Rank 1 Debarnab Chatterjee. He's a brilliant guy, and today we are going to interview him. So, Mangesh, let's begin.
Hi everyone. So we have Debarnab with us. So Debarnab is like the really most sincere guy we have met. And even though he's not from a metropolitan city, he has managed to crack IPMAT and get AIR1, which is a very big thing. Further, to give you an introduction about himself, he is from a place called Suri in West Bengal. And he finished his 12th board from a school which is affiliated to the Cambridge board. Over to you, Debarnab. So, Debarnab, can you tell us how your preparation strategy was for IPM?
Yeah, sure. So actually, the biggest contribution in me cracking IPM Indore was my school, I think. So my school was a little different from the standard conventional schools that we see in India. So the director of our school, he himself is an IMA alumnus and IIT Kharagpur alumnus. So prior to starting up this school in 2010, he was heading equity research firm, and he saw the talent crunch of India firsthand. He experienced it. He saw that there was a real lack in employability. People lacked certain basic skills which are really important in their career. So he set out to make a school of his own, which he really wanted, where he wanted to prioritize all the skill developments. So because of that, from a very young age in our school, we are prioritized to read different fictions, novels, articles, so that we become proficient in English reading and comprehension. Apart from that, we're also encouraged to communicate formally, both in writing and in orally. So as a result of that, I think, from years of speaking properly without generally speaking, I mean, combining two languages together, or like the standard way often you speak, we bring in a lot of Hindi words or bring a lot of Bengali words, but the point is you have to speak in English to do well in any career these days. So to speak in pure English and to speak with fluency, to speak with accuracy, to be succinct when you are speaking, I think that was really encouraged. So that was another aspect. Now the third important pillar that my sir encouraged was not writing. I already mentioned writing. It was mathematical abilities, quantitative abilities. So I mean, everybody needs to know some basic quantitative abilities, right? It does not have to be that that person has to be a star and needs to know the most complicated number theory. I mean, it does not need to know Riemann hypothesis. But at the same time, he should be someone who is proficient at maths, should be able to go forward and do the everyday math. So because of this focus, this very skill-oriented learning I have received from a young age, I think it really boosted me and already gave me a high stage when I began my IPM preparation. So since I possess some of those skills, I think I could pick up the advanced level math that was required for IPM Indore. and I could scale it without too much difficulty. And here also again he comes into play. I mean, he took our classes, and are you saying something?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to understand is that so you are trying to say that every student in IPM, like who's preparing for IPM, must have a strong English base and a math base, right? So like he should
Yes,
be really
I
good
believe
in
so.
communication.
I believe so. I mean, communication does not come into play in the aptitude test, but a person who is really aspiring for any IPM, that person cannot be so myopic. That person also has to have the future in mind. That person has to know that once I'm done with the aptitude test, I have to crack that personal interview where that communication skill is going to be a big factor. So I think, so I was already at a good stage, and our sir did hours of math with us, taught, hundreds of concepts. And I always love learning those concepts, learning to prove things. And that feels so fascinating, right? Learning math and connecting the various branches of math together. So that felt fascinating. And reading storybooks and novels, and generally being in touch with English, helped me in my English preparation overall.
So can you tell us the name of your school? We just don't know the name of it. So
yeah, sure. So my school's name is the Levelfield School, and we're based out of Shuri at this point. There are no more branches. So yeah, and it's affiliated with the Cambridge International Examinations.
Okay. Debarnab, can you tell everyone what were your subjects in 12th standard?
Yeah. So as I already mentioned that we had Cambridge International Examinations, and Cambridge Board by itself does not have any subject boundaries. So they allow students to pick their choice. It can be anything. So in my class 12th, I had 4 subjects because Cambridge Board is a little more hectic and a little more difficult than the CBSE or ICSE counterparts. So because of that, I had 4 subjects. The subjects are mathematics, English, economics, and history.
Great. So Debarnab, I think many of the aspirants want to know about the coaching stuff. So did you take any coaching or any mocks? Can you elaborate about that?
Yeah. So actually, I did not take any coaching at all. So whatever happened within the school. We were taught very nicely, and a lot of the math was taught, and I also did a lot of practice back at home. So like that, and while doing the math, I used to try to keep a certain timer in my mind. Initially, I could not obviously stick to that timer because when I'm amateur in that concept, it takes time to, and you are grappling with that concept. So it takes time to solve a sum. But towards the end, I was trying to do every sum within 1 to 1.5 minutes so that I could do well in the multiple choice part and the first essay part.
So that's really great. You made it, and you got AIR1 without any coaching. So,
yeah.
But I think you still might have attempted some mock exams or something like that.
Yeah, I did take a couple of mock exams from different places. Often a lot of test prep companies give one free mock. I did not subscribe to any one company, to be honest, as to take all the free mocks that were out there.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So that's the strategy what I followed as well.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So yeah, it's a good strategy. Students are spending like thousands of rupees these days into random courses. So what they need to understand is basically you are trying to tell them to firstly clear all the concepts and practice as much as they can. So it's really interesting. Okay, Mangesh.
I mean, even the mocks are sorry to interrupt, but even the mocks I feel are not very standardized. In the companies. I mean, in one mock may be of very high difficulty. It may just be mirroring a JEE paper, and one mock may be very low difficulty. It may be mirroring a class 10 examination. And IPM is not in either end. It is more close towards the JEE, but it's not a JEE level paper at the same time, right? So it has to be standardized, and I think it's just good to pick up a book which contains a lot of sums in math and just diligently do it. I think that does more good than attempting hundreds of mocks.
Yeah.
Debarnab, could you tell us the books which you used or some recommendations for aspirants?
Yeah. Actually, as I told you, the majority of my preparation was done in school only. So I can tell some of the books that our sir used to teach us. So one of the books was Higher Algebra by Hall and Knight. It's a great book. Also, SL Loan is the classic text series only. It's from the other books are Trigonometry and Coordinate Geometry by SL Loney. These three books were amazing. I personally, in the end, was using to hone my arithmetic concepts. I was using Arun Sharma's quantitative book for CAT. So that has very nice the arithmetic part and also the number systems bit, which is not covered in the JE books. And apart from that, I mean, in school also read a lot of sums, and back at home also, I had bought a 42 years collection of past JE math questions. So I just did that book, the pre-calculus part of it.
Okay.
Great. So you actually did the entire JE preparation kind of preparation
without the calculus bit, yes.
Yeah. Great. That's really impressive. Yes, Mangesh.
So Debarnab, there's a misconception out there, and people think that calculus is a part of the IPM syllabus. So could you just throw some light on that topic? Because a lot of students fear math because of integration and differentiation, but I think we know that integration and differentiation is not a part of our syllabus. So could you just throw some light on it?
Yeah, I mean, so if somebody just goes and tries to pick out a few books that are not the books really, but few of the mocks that are officially released by IIM Indore on their website, you will see that there aren't any sum that has to be done with calculus. I mean, whatever can be done with algebra maybe, or you can use some other method. Often sums can be done easier with calculus, but I mean, it's not. Those sums can also be done using alternative methods. So they will not give a sum that can be exclusively and only done by calculus. So, and I think, even there is nothing to be, apart from that, I mean, calculus is not included. Yeah, we have seen that. But even talking about the math phobia that you're talking about due to calculus, the integration and differentiation, I think it is not totally justified. I mean, calculus seems like a very esoteric concept, and it is. I mean, it's not at a higher level, any concept is esoteric, right? We are touching the tip of everything, really. I have learned the tip of algebra and coordinate geometry and anything for that matter, trigonometry, anything for that matter. So I don't know what the complexities of these topics are, what the depths of the topic hold. So it's wrong to just judge that, one topic is very esoteric. Any topic can get esoteric at a depth. Even calculus is a lot of fun to do when you are just learning it. So, I mean, this fear is also not fully justified.
Okay, so that's again impressive. So, you as you were from Cambridge board, I've heard that most of the people in Cambridge board go for SAT and other exams. So, did you go for those exams?
Yeah, I did take SAT. So, I took SAT in 2019 and I have a 1530 there out of 1600.
Okay, again, that's a good score. So, will you be joining IPM Indore or will you be going abroad?
No, I'll be joining IPM Indore. I don't have plans to go abroad.
Okay, I think it will be a pretty long gap after which some AIR1 is joining IPM Indore. So.
Oh, okay. I did not know this. I mean, last year's AIR1 actually did not join. I saw in one video only actually. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay, Mangesh.
Yeah, Debarnab, so you had qualified for Indore and Rohtak. So could you just tell us about your Indore interview experience, and then we'll go to Rohtak's interview experience.
So my Indore interview experience, it was, I personally, the feeling that you get after giving an interview, it wasn't really the most pleasant feeling I got. So the professors were there. One person was asking me math questions. So he asked me very conceptual questions. I think throughout the Indore interview, that's what I felt, that they were really interested in understanding whether you know concepts or not. He did not ask me a lot of equations or to differentiate something. They asked me questions which are really touching
I'm sorry to interrupt, but again, I want to highlight the fact that most of the coaching institutes today teaching for IPM are concentrating on shortcuts rather than the actual concepts. So do you think they can handle those questions, conceptual questions, without knowing the concepts in the interview?
I mean, it's not easy to fool those professors, right? They know their stuff the best, and if you don't know, you don't know. At that point, it's impossible to prove something or figure out something from the first principles. So at that point, I mean, you can crack the exam, but then the PI becomes a horrendous experience.
Okay, so can you give some examples from your Rohtak interview experience?
Yeah. So my Rohtak interview was much shorter than my Indore interview. So right in the beginning, they started talking about extracurriculars, and I mentioned that I was a published writer on the Statesman, and I was gold winner in the Queen's Commonwealth Essay competition. So they wanted to read my article. Then they moved forward and asked me a couple of history questions, and then a couple of current affairs question, and that also they gave me the choice. They told me which news have you been following recently. So I talked about Pegasus spyware, and they asked me a few questions on that. So that was more like the difference between. So Rohtak covered a lot of more areas. Indore was more concentrated. Indore covered few areas but to the depth. Rohtak covered a lot more areas, but not so much to the depth. It's more touching on a lot of more topics.
Also, Debarnab, did you apply for IIM Ranchi's IPM program?
Yeah, I did apply for IIM Ranchi's IPM program, and I have been shortlisted for the PI.
Great.
That's
So
really obvious.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
obvious actually. Now you're in Indore, so Ranchi is actually does not matter to you. But that again, it's really great. You have qualified. So let's come to the last segment of this interview. So how did Road to IPM's mock interview help you in your preparations?
Yeah. So again, it's a very crucial thing. I mean, the mock interviews are a very important part of our preparation because, I mean, without getting a sense of how we are communicating, how we are coming across in front of strangers, we didn't get a good feedback on how our interview is going to go. And you people, you took my interview, and it was a very long interview. It went on for a very long time, and you asked me questions from all areas. So I think that, and no interview actually goes on for that long. The interview you took went on for much longer than a standard interview will go on. A standard interview will go on for 10, 15, 20 minutes at max, not more than that. But when you are actually asking me questions for 30, 40 minutes, you have to be at the top of your mind. You have to be at the top of your game. And I think that taught me to focus more. And after that, you gave me a very constructive feedback. So, you told me that, these are the areas you can improve upon. And you also exposed my gaps of knowledge. I think right in the beginning, I said that I'm interested in watching cricket, and you just asked me what is Chinaman. So I did not know what was Chinaman, but that exposed a gap in my knowledge. So right after the interview, I went on and checked out what is a Chinaman. It turned out to be a left-hand leg spinner is called a Chinaman. So, there's certain gaps in knowledge, how you gave up feedback on how I'm coming across. So all of this, the feedback really helps. And also, I had not known you people prior to meeting you for the first time in that mock PI. So it was same as meeting two new interviewers, right? I mean, if I, let's say, gave a mock interview to two of my friends, I'll probably turn out to be more impressive than I truly turn out to be in front of two new people, right? Because I am more comfortable with them. I'll come across more fluently. I'll be able to communicate much better with them. So I think this exposure and the feedback, these are the two important things about your mock interview that really helped me in my preparation.
Okay, so Debarnab, I'll be asking you a few personal questions because again, students have a lot of misconceptions. So, did you feel like distracted at times during your preparation?
Yeah, I absolutely felt. I mean, every once in a while, the maths will get a little mundane. I'm like, okay, just leave this be. It's not my cup of tea. Let's just leave this be. So, yeah, I did feel, but then towards the end, I think when the exam is near, you do feel a certain rush, you do feel a certain excitement also to go and give that exam. And you know that you have put in 1 year of hard work and you don't want to let go of your times at the last moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, right. And again, another stupid question. Did you have any girlfriend or something like that? Some partner? Someone asking you, Babu Thana Thaya or something like
No,
that?
no, not really. No, not really.
Okay. So you were really sincere
I mean, I
throughout
had
your
I had a
education.
lot of friends. I had a lot of female friends, but nobody like not a girlfriend or something.
Okay, great.
Debarnab, one last question. So, what
Yeah.
was that motivation throughout your preparation? So, I think one problem which we as aspirants face is that we study, we make timetables, we study for 1 to 2 days, and then we lose all our motivation, and then we go into depression. We're like, what are we doing in life? So, can you throw some light on this topic?
Yeah, so the phenomena that you mentioned, making timetables and following it for 2 days and then tearing up, that's something that I myself did. I tried to be very disciplined all the time. I always thought that okay, this time to this time I'll be doing maths maybe, and this is the time to read books. This is the time maybe for some me time alone I'll spend, trying to figure out some of my own hobbies and such, exploring some of my own hobbies. But it never turned out because I could never be that disciplined. I could never lead such a regimented life. So I think it's important to have flexibility in life. I mean, any preparation, you should, whenever you are doing something, you should have the enjoyment and you should have the necessary, motivation to do it. And if you lead a very regimented life, it often does not come that way. So flexibility, I think, is good, but at the same time, you should not be too indisciplined that okay, whole day I'll just party and never study, and then the last month I'm going to study. That cannot happen, obviously. As for the motivation that you talked about, the motivation factor in me, uh, IIM Indore, was something that I was really interested in. So it's a very dynamic. There are a lot of dynamics to this issue, I think. So I think academics is the biggest thing, right? Why I'm going to college? I'm going to college to study, and I have to. And I really wanted to study all these topics that are covered in the IIMs, right? I wanted to learn economics. I wanted to learn math. I wanted to learn, philosophy and sociology. Wanted to go to this dance and drama. Whatever comes across, it's a lot of fun to learn new things. Who doesn't want to learn? And I wanted to learn it really. So that was one thing. Apart from that, I think, it was also the excitement of meeting the cream of the country, people who have actually passed through a very rigorous process, given an entrance, given an interview. So these are people who are likely to be of the same mindset as I am. So if you sort of have people who are alike in a way, I think it's better to you can bond better with these people. So I think this new set of peer groups, and I think the final one big factor was also the fact. Okay, and a lot of minor things are also there. Like I used to often see videos of people who are actually into IMI or IIM Rohtak or any such place, and they used to always tell that how exciting and their lives are there. I mean, they used to tell that it's hectic academically, but again, it's a place which you will take despite all the hectic bits of it. It's a place which you enjoy being part of. So I also wanted to be part of that enjoyable experience. So all of that feels very good, obviously. So all of that, and professors, a couple of interviews of professors I've seen, and they also used to. They often attracted me by their communication skills, just to come across so nicely, and I always wanted to be like those people. Have that sort of precision in language and speak in that sort of way. So yeah, so a lot of that, and finally, obviously, I knew that I had put in preparation for 1 year, and this had to bear me fruit. So because of that, I could not let go of my dreams and had to continue on my preparation.
Okay, so it was really nice talking to you again, Debarnab, and I wish
it
you
was
all
really
the
nice talking
best.
with you also.
I wish you all the
thank you.
best, and I know you'll be some great guy. You already are, but you'll be better version of yourself in a few more years.
No. Yeah, sure.
And
Yeah.
Congratulations. And I think students must take you as inspiration because you were from a humble background. Still, you made it without any coaching or something. I'm really impressed by you. So, thank you for being here.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Debarnab, one last question. What is this one thing which you would like to tell any aspirant who's preparing for IPM?
I'll just say that you have to want it. I mean, if you really want it, you are willing to put in that extra bit of preparation. You are going to go the extra mile to try to get to that final outcome. If it is being forced down upon you, it's not going to happen. Or if you are interested in it due to some superficial reason, if you think that okay, I'm going to make it into a big corporate, start off as a CEO, be a great entrepreneur, it's not going to happen. You have to be interested due to more intrinsic reasons. So I think that is something that has to be kept in mind. That's the biggest push in life, really.
Great. It was great talking to you. And with that, we come to an end. Thank you so much for coming, Debarnab.
Yeah, thank you.